Picture this. You've just closed on an absolute dream property. You got the keys, you're ready to start renovations, and bam, you get a notice in the mail. Turns out the previous owner stiffed their contractors, or maybe they just completely ignored their taxes. Suddenly, you're staring down the barrel of someone else's massive debt. Your dream property? It just turned into a complete financial nightmare. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into a totally critical real estate skill that can literally save you from financial ruin: how to check property liens in Adams County online. So what actually happens if you buy a place and miss a hidden lien? Well, here's the harsh reality. Liens attach to the property itself, not the person who racked up the debt. If you buy the dirt, you buy the problem. Overlooking this can completely derail your purchase, kill your investment, and absolutely wreck your financial health. Doing your due diligence? It's non-negotiable. But doing this research online, especially for Adams County, well, that introduces a massive hurdle. And that hurdle is the number 12. Because there isn't just one Adams County. There are exactly 12 different Adams counties in the U.S. We're talking Colorado to Pennsylvania, Illinois to Mississippi, and get this. Every single one of them uses totally different software portals, has different government custodians, and charges entirely different fees. So if you don't know exactly what you're looking for, you are going to be lost before you even type a word. But don't worry, we've got a roadmap to get through this maze. We're going to cover 1. The hidden lien threat. 2. Which Adams County? 3. The lien identification gap. 4. 4 steps to clear title. 5. Navigating portals and fees. And 6. Final checks and protections. All right, let's dive right into Section 1, the hidden lien threat. Now, you probably know not all liens are created equal, right? We've got voluntary liens, like your standard mortgage or a deed of trust, stuff you actually consent to when borrowing money. But then we have involuntary liens. These are the non-consensual ones: civil court judgments, mechanics liens from unpaid contractors, or those nasty tax liens. Because these happen without the owner's permission, they're actually filed in completely different government offices. That stark split is exactly why property due diligence is so fragmented and, quite frankly, super dangerous if you don't know where to look. Which brings us to Section 2. Which Adams County? The sheer complexity of these local government databases is honestly kind of staggering. Say you're looking up a property in Adams County, Colorado. You'll need the clerk and recorder's office, and you'll be logging into a platform called Landmark Web. But flip over to Adams County, Illinois. Now you're dealing with the recorder of deeds on a totally different system called Fiddler Tapestry. Same exact county name, completely different digital universe. You absolutely have to lock down your state and local custodian before you even think about hitting search. Moving on to Section 3, the lien identification gap. This involuntary lien identification gap is basically a trapdoor for buyers. It's a systemic division. If you just search the county recorder's office, you're really only seeing half the picture. You'll see the mortgages, sure, but what if the owner was sued for a bad debt or owes a ton in domestic support? That civil judgment is probably hiding over in a completely separate court clerk or prothonotary database. There is literally no single magic portal for all of this. If you aren't checking multiple databases, you're flying completely blind. Okay, Section 4, 4 steps to clear title. To navigate this whole mess safely, you have to follow this workflow in perfect order. Step 1, assessor database. Step 2, real estate registry. Step 3, judicial dockets. And Step 4, the property tax database. Trust me, doing these out of sequence is a recipe for disaster. Let's break down Steps 1 and 2. You always start at the assessor's office to get the exact parcel number. Why? Because parcel numbers are infinitely more reliable than street addresses. Street names change, unit numbers get jumbled, but a parcel number is like a unique fingerprint for that specific piece of land. Once you got it, you hit Step 2, the real estate registry, like Landmark Web in Colorado or Tapestry in Illinois. You query that parcel number and the owner's name to track down those voluntary liens. And here's a huge tip. Don't just look for active liens. You absolutely need to look for release documents, like a satisfaction of mortgage, to prove a previous debt was actually wiped clean. Now, Steps 3 and 4, this is how we close that dangerous identification gap. Step 3, check the local court clerk or prothonotary. In Pennsylvania, for example, you jump on the UJS portal. This is where you dig up those nasty civil judgments which legally attach to literally every piece of property that person owns in the county. Finally, Step 4, audit the county treasurer's tax database. The stakes here are incredibly high, folks. Unpaid real estate taxes take priority over almost everything else, even senior mortgages. An unpaid tax lien can trigger a tax foreclosure sale and instantly wipe out your entire investment. no matter how clean the rest of the title looked. Next up, Section 5, navigating portals and fees. You're going to run into wildly different financial setups when doing this research. You'll see open access public portals, and then you'll hit pay-as-you-go commercial systems. For instance, in Adams County, Illinois, on Tapestry, you can set up a pay-as-you-go credit card account, but it hits you with a $25 minimum per month. Jump over to Adams County, Pennsylvania, and simply filing a mechanics lien will set you back $227.25. Meanwhile, in Adams County, Colorado, if you just want to print a copy of a file online, it's a measly 25 cents a page. Bottom line, budget for these fees. Trying to bypass them usually just means you're missing out on absolutely critical data. Quick timeout for a very important disclaimer. Everything in this explainer is for educational and reference purposes only. We're here to show you how the system actually works, but this is definitely not professional legal advice. If you're deep in a high-stakes real estate deal and feeling unsure, absolutely consult with a local real estate attorney or a professional title abstractor. All right, final stretch, Section 6, final checks and protections. Let's talk about the major pitfalls you need to dodge. The absolute biggest mistake? Relying totally on those free public record aggregator sites. Our sources make it crystal clear. Free sites are notoriously incomplete, making them super dangerous for real due diligence. Next up, as we mentioned earlier, not using a precise parcel number will just give you a messy, inaccurate search. Another massive trap is forgetting the court clerk. That lien gap is where civil judgments hide. And finally, don't overlook municipal utilities. Sometimes a forgotten solid waste or garbage bill can actually morph into a municipal lien on the property. Check out this pretty stark warning from the Adams County, Colorado Clerk's Office. Property fraud is a growing concern. Early detection helps prevent fraudulent transfers and title problems. Doing your upfront lien search when buying is great, but what about after? Fraudsters are literally out there right now filing fake deeds and bogus liens against properties they have zero claim to. Your ongoing vigilance, it's just as crucial as that very first search. So how do you actually stay vigilant without obsessively checking a portal every single day? Proactive protection. Lots of jurisdictions like Adams County, Colorado, actually offer completely free fraud alert services. You don't even have to own property in the county to use it. You literally just punch in your name or your family's names, and the system shoots you an email the absolute second any document is recorded under those names. It is a fantastic, totally actionable way to spot fraudulent activity or weird liens right away. Which wraps up our entire roadmap. We've untangled the 12 Adams counties, bridged the hidden lien gap, and mapped out the 4 definitive steps to clear a title. So I'm going to leave you with one very important question. Have you checked your local county's hidden databases today? Because whether you're buying in Colorado, Illinois, or Pennsylvania, your financial future absolutely depends on knowing exactly what is lurking in those records. Thanks so much for tuning into this explainer, and happy hunting out there.